He's built up quite an audience.
Okay, cool.
Yo. Welcome to another episode of the JoeZONE podcast. Today I have with me a multi-talented individual. This guy, he's a voiceover artist. He's an actor. He writes poetry. He writes music. I'm going to ask you about that as well later on.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Danny Ross. There we go.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
How's it going, my bro? You doing lekker?
No, I'm good. I'm lekker. How are you?
Yeah, I'm lekker. It's December, festive period. Everything is like...
Cold weather. It's weird. I was like, what the hell? Why am I wearing a top?
In Cape Town, you get like 4 seasons in one day.
Like
people say
It's alles in één dag, bro.
Yeah, man. So thank you for joining me today.
Thanks,
as I got through it, we went through before we spoke on. We went live. We're just gonna chat basically about how you got to where you got, and we want to know more about Danny Ross, man. I mean, we've seen you in the series, we've seen you on the big screen. We want to know like where this all got started. So where did you get started? I read somewhere that you entered a reality competition in 2010. Is that where it all started, or did it start before that? Was there a seed somewhere along the line, maybe in the younger years?
Okay, don't laugh at me, bro. When I used to live with my granny, my aunt and uncle used to come visit, and then I have an uncle that's a pastor, and then I would imitate him. I would when they come over, they'll say, "Nah, I have to preach." So I'll go put on a little shirt. I think I was like 5, maybe, or 6. A little shirt, black pants, with a strik dassie, a little Bible, and then I would stand there and I would on a little table and preach, And I think that got me to see in a way okay, they enjoying this and they laughing, because I'm imitating what my uncle was kind of doing,
Sure.
And then I got into, I loved watching films, and I played outside a lot. So fantasy genre films was one of my favorites. And then I think one of my first inspirations was Mr. Bean. Because he was like he was like the modern day Charlie Chaplin in a way.
Yeah, he had no words.
Yeah, and that's what fascinated me. I can watch this guy the whole day going through his things, but he doesn't say a word. Or just now and then he'll have "Hello, Teddy," or So I was like, okay, this is cool. And from there on, the bug bit me there. And then I just started watching more, like the Bruce Lee films, Van Damme. And then I got into action. And in high school, I started getting into then in primary school, I was writing a lot of poetry. Then
so that's where the poetry began.
Music also became a big thing in my life. I'm still a big Eminem fan.
Yeah.
So
you wrote lyrics as well.
Yeah, I started writing poetry, and I started enjoying oral in school, in class, And then high school came, and then you could spice it up a little bit, and you could make it interesting. And we used to I loved imitating David Isaacs and Oscar with Joe Barber, So we would incorporate that into our Mondeling, and then...
Were you good at Mondeling and
I wasn't,
your orals?
I think
because you have a good command of the Afrikaans and both English language, it seems.
I think I was good at just talking kak, and keeping people entertained. But I wasn't good at the facts and everything that I was talking about. I think I just enjoyed that. And in high school, we did something. My baby sister reminded me one day where I was on stage with a bicycle and a kufia, and we did a whole thing at school, It was like a quick thing. And I was just I loved that feeling, that rush that I got from that, to just play. And when it came to choosing my subjects for grade 10, we had to sit down, myself and my mom and my stepfather, and he was like, okay, what are you going to do? And then I thought, okay, I think I want to study acting, But then we went to this, I keep forgetting the name of the guy, where you go before you choose your subjects. And you do like a computer test.
Sure, I know that.
It lays out like what
subjects you need to do in order to go.
What fields you can go into, and then the first things were like entertainment. It was acting. It was all of that. And I think my third or fourth column was like teaching or whatever. So the safe thing to do, because I'm from Worcester, in that time was to become a teacher of some sort, or go into a social worker, because my family was doing that as well, So that was like the kind of easy thing to do, or to, most accessible thing to do, And when it became, when I got to grade 12, matric, I was like, nah, I think I wanna study acting, Sorry, I'm telling a long story.
No. But this is a podcast. We got 3 hours.
So that's how it kind of got there. And then my mom and myself was like, do something more safer, something that you can count on. Because even that guy that I did the test with, he was like, yeah, I think leave this out for now and just do this. And then, I don't know, that fire inside of me just burned to do acting. And I said to them, listen, it's fine. I'll do this on my own, because this is what I want to do.
You want to do acting?
I want to do acting.
Now, you said this is a long story, but it's actually important you telling us what you're telling us right now.
Yeah.
There's a kid out there somewhere that is burning to do something, and his mom and dad is saying, nah, you must do this. But he really wants to do that, man.
Yeah.
And it's really... stories like yours should be highlighted. It's important to be highlighted, because there's so many of it out there where it's like, listen, dude, do something that you really want to do. Go for the passion and stuff like that. Sorry to cut your story.
No.
I just wanted to explain to you that and yours is not I've spoke to other individuals as well like that, and it's often in those years, that developing years, where they go to art school, or Christo Davids, he has like a drama classes that him and this big crew of people are part of. So Yasin Barnes going to art school. There's so much other people that I can mention, but I just want to say, it's important that you're telling us this.
Yeah, and after that, when they said, okay, you can do that, I had to, because I was in Worcester, and in Worcester I couldn't study acting there. So I found some classes that a lady was giving at UWC. It's not a course at UWC. She was just using the facilities there. And then it was like part-time, and... So I had to travel from Worcester to Cape Town for 1 day. And then I would come back.
Once a week.
And then I was like a 3-hour.
That's an important story.
And then I would come back. I would work on the weekends by Edgar's. And then after that, I would go to a catering company and go cater there, like they did events, get home. 1 o'clock, 2 in the morning, sleep, go in the morning again to Edgar's, and that was my routine. You know? Just to have enough money to travel, to buy toiletries for myself, and to maintain like myself while my mom and my stepfather supported me with paying for the part-time classes. And then it became a thing where I was staying in Cape Town by my uncle and them from... Like I would come through earlier, maybe if I'm done working at Edgar's, like on Sunday, and they don't need me for Monday, I'll leave on the Monday, and then I would go with my uncle to the library and just chill there, go read some stuff. He'll introduce me to some people. I got introduced to some amazing guys that also did poetry, and they just inspired me. And then Wednesday I would go for my class, and then maybe Thursday, I will leave to Worcester again.
Your uncle sounded like he was instrumental in like giving you the good literature.
Yeah, all of our uncles and aunts were very, they were very good role models for us, and they helped where they could. You know, because we're a big family. They're a big family from my mom's side. They're like 10 children.
Sure.
So we had to, and they did a lot of things in the community, you know, in Worcester. So it helped a lot to have them there to kind of support us.
A good support structure goes a long way.
Yeah, you know. But I was still like the odd one out because I was like the first to do it in the family.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I mean, coming from Worcester, going to doing something totally different. Like, it's almost, it's a long shot.
So it was they were there as much as they could, but it was, at times it was difficult because I was like, who do I speak to? Because who's guiding me? You know what I mean? So I had to kind of guide myself. Or if I got introduced to, I would get as much information from them.
So how long were you doing this? Did you have to do this course at UWC?
Yeah, that was a year. I think that was a year, and at the end of that year, I moved to Durban to my sister that lived in Durban, and with her family. And then I started doing a course. I found a course there while I was working at Edgar's as well. So that by then I kind of could, because I was working more often at Edgar's because now I've got some experience. So I could then support myself by paying for my own studies.
Okay, quite.
And but I lived with him. So I had a roof over my head. I had food to eat. I had my family. And then, so I worked at Edgar's while I was also doing this thing part-time. Another course that I found that was affordable part-time.
Again, acting sort of.
Acting, speech and drama.
Speech and drama.
Yeah, it was very little courses. It wasn't like big, like I'm coming from AFDA or I'm coming from UC. It was like, it was what I could afford.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to keep myself going. Because it's like anything that you learn, if you stop, you kind of lose it, you know, like language as well. So you have to, so I just thought, let me just continue and see where I can make the connection and just keep that fire burning.
Do you feel that those courses added value to?
Oh, definitely.
To make you.
Yeah, everything that you learn, there must be something to it, man.
Yeah,
it doesn't go to waste.
I like when you say that. Everything you learn, you must.
Yeah, you might not need it now, from it. But you will need it later in life or somewhere.
So how did you get into like your first role? Like when did the reality competition come into it?
That was
so
I was in
later?
Durban, and then I started. Yeah, it was later. Then with this college that I did the part-time thing, they did like a short film. Not much came of it. Then they did a stage play that we did at the Isibaya, a casino in Durban, South Coast, yeah. But anyway, I did the stage play, and a friend of mine brought his director, who was also doing theatre in Durban at the time. He was doing a lot of Shakespeare, which I hated. The English screwed me over. But anyway, and then he introduced me to him, and then that's how we got to, because this friend I met also at Edgar's, and he was into singing and theatre, and then met this director, and then we started doing some Shakespeare with him, and then I eventually ended up doing another theatre. What was it called? Play Sassel Fever, which was very good theatre show that we did at. There was a small theatre there.
Was that all in Durban?
It was all in Durban.
So that's where your theatre started. Yes, your theatre background kicked off.
Then my sister and them immigrated. After 3 years, I was living in in Durban. Then I came back
to Cape Town.
And that's when I think someone told me about this reality show they saw on TV. And I was like, I don't know, and let's just do it. And I was like, okay, cool, let me go. Then I went, stood in the queue, and I don't know how many thousands of people there were. And thank God for my later, who became my acting coach, Dorothy Ann Gold. I went into the tent, my first audition. Went into the tent, and they were only allowed to give out certain amount of passes, because they had to get 10 people for the show, for the reality show. And she said to me, there's something there, you know. We can work on something. I'm only allowed to give out a certain amount, I think like 10 or 12, but I'm going to give you this. And I want you to work on, breathing and taking your time, you know, and relaxing your voice, you know. And I went home, I got the ticket, I was like, oh shit. I think the next day or 2 days after I had to come back. And then we had to do it. That was now it was in a studio.
This is now audition, eh?
Yeah, then this is now the audition for the top 10.
Okay.
For the final top 10. And then Munyin was still there. I think Rapolana was still there. I can't remember who was the other guy. Yeah. But then it was like, you know, like you go for idols, it looks like that. You stand on a mark, and there's people, and
they filming you.
Yeah, and then I did that, and then then I made it through.
You won.
Top 10.
You top
no.
3.
Then the reality show happened, and then I made it top 3. So I was third. Then
was that the reality show on TV or something like that?
SABC 2.
Okay.
SABC 2, SABC 1. SABC 1.
Of how to become an actor, like.
Yeah, it was like an idols for actors. You know what I mean? So
interesting.
Yeah, so and people, and you got voted out if you had the lowest votes. So the public was voting.
Okay, so each week you had to do tasks and like sort of.
Each week we shot a different genre, like comedy, action, and based on that, the votes will come in, and the next week they will announce who got the least votes and who's going on. But if you won the genre, you had like basically immunity. So even if you had the lowest votes, you're still going through.
Did you ever win immunity?
Yes, for comedy.
Comedy?
For comedy. And I think for action.
Sessa.
I think for action.
Jared geduld, watch out now.
Yeah, for comedy and for action, I think, yeah. And then I made it through to the top 3, and it was a very, very important experience in my life because I met a lot of good guys on there, and we are still friends up until today.
Yeah, it's always good networking, it seems. Yeah. Meeting the right type of people, good people in the industry, having that right connections in the industry is always a positive thing.
Yeah.
And then when was your first movie or your first series or something like that? When did that kick off?
My bro. What was my first thing?
Jason Prince, wasn't that?
I think it was Swartwater.
You were able to poach or something like that?
I think I got into Villa Rosa, which was a soapy first.
Is it?
Or before that, and I think I see him in the line, and then did a couple of calls, and then Villa Rosa. And then I think Swartwater happened, but it was all small roles. And then I think Swartwater, I can't remember, yeah. I'm my bro, when it comes to my timelines,
that's all right now, but we understand the thing is, so how was it taking on the first, that role of that Jason Prince role of it, Swartwater? Because that was like, you were more in like a sort of a leading role now you became, or is it just?
It was not support. It was support, okay. Yeah. It was awesome, man. We were shooting here in Arniston. And I got to work with amazing people. It was one of those experiences where I got to talk to people who's very honest about who they are. You know, I got to hang out with actors in a way for the first time that's honest with who they are and what they're going through and mental health and that type of thing, you know. Which was... You were
just you're talking about behind the scenes now, just like...
Yeah, because we were staying there, because we were shooting there. So they
just
all booked us
being able to interact with other actors that's been in the...
hang out, and because now you have to spend time together, you know? So you're not just coming to work and then leaving home. You're coming to work and then you're going home with each other because you're staying together, you know? And I worked with Uncle Sid on there, with Lo, with Jana...
Marvin,
yeah.
Lovinter looks different now.
Well, it's years later, my bro.
But it's like Kabona, he's not Twaki anymore.
So yeah, it was a beautiful experience to be there, and work with the team. I think it was physical pictures. Yeah, it was liquor out there. Oh yeah.
Okay, nah, that's interesting, man. So the movie is like, I don't know where I saw you in, if it was the music video that we can show,
Oh yeah.
or it was a Skemerdans. I can't remember where I saw you first, but I'm just gonna tell you this thing quickly. So I don't know where I saw you first, in which one was it, but when I saw you,
My
you had
OnlyFans.
like, share, subscribe. But when I saw you, like, you had this, and I tagged Mr. Bean here when you spoke about it, like, because I feel your acting has got a lot of facial expressions in it, or you do a lot of acting through your face. I mean, everybody does it, but there was a specific something about you that stood out to me, and I think it might have been in Skemerdans because, like, I actually watched that because one of my friends called Weebers in it.
Oh, yeah.
But then I was like, okay, this brah is actually stealing the show here. And I mean, it seemed to me you stood out in that show. You know what I mean? And I mean, there's a lot of dope actors in that series.
Oh,
like some top actors. But yeah, you stood out in that for me. And there was I don't know, man, a certain way you commanded yourself on screen. And then I watched another movie, right? It was Barakat. And I just started watching this movie and I said, hey, one of my favorite actors is in here. This dude, like, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Let me check this out. And again, you had this, I don't know, in this movie, you were a different type of person. You were like, I don't know. But again, there was a likability about you that I had there. But then I don't know, I just started thinking about you as how I saw you as an actor, right? In this thing. And I knew I was going to interview or chat to you today. And I just started thinking about, like, just you, like, how you command yourself on screen in a very masculine way. You know what I mean? And I thought about it a bit, like, but this guy, he's like my size. You know what I mean? He's not a big muscle-bound dude like Arnold Schwarzenegger or like Sylvester Stallone, but he still has this command on screen. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Do you think so?
I think, first of all, screen does make you look bigger. Now that you've seen me,
it's not about making you look bigger.
It's not about the physical appearance. It's about, I think, it's just the homework of getting into who the character is, and taking your time with it. I think my favorite part of acting is the homework, you know. And the research that I do, you know, because that's where you lay your foundation, you know. And also I put God in my work, you know what I mean? That's me. I was like, I'm just a vessel here. So, you know, I just want to be truthful to the script, to whoever's directing, who wrote this, and the team that's on set. Because it's an honor. It's always an honor to be able to act, to work, you know, to play. And lots of the whole team's work goes in there. So I respect that of everyone. You know, it's that we're all here to do the same thing, and I respect everyone for that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but honestly, Danny, you stand out in the crowd of actors. So my question, is how that masculinity, man, that factor, and it's like there's a big question mark around it in these days. Nowadays, is like there's a perception of like almost like you can't be aggressive. That's not masculinity. Aggressiveness is not masculinity.
Assertiveness.
There we go.
Yeah.
And you command that on screen.
Because I command that in a way on set, because we're there to work. You know, we're respecting, like, we have to respect each other's time. So if we can all get into that, and it's also the team that you work with, you know. So that helps, because I can't do that if the team is not supporting me. And they can't do that if I'm not. So it's because we all a team.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? So that helps a lot.
Can I just interject in this?
Sure.
So if I check your role in Spinners, no?
Spinners.
And if I check your role in is it number 37?
Number 36.
I always get confused with Afrikaans now. There's a certain, and not all males is like that, but that role obviously you need to be that forceful Brahman, and you pull it off effortlessly. Yeah, so I think that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
But in the other roles, it's still a male, but you still capture in both. You capture the male in a strong sense where you can say, "Nah, he's a manly man," whatever. But in a vulnerable play or act or character, you still get it right, but not a forceful one, man. So you capture in both instances, you capture it, but it's different versions of masculinity.
Yeah.
And it's never a negative one. Okay, it's obviously the over the violent is obviously, but there's still a this bra is quiet, man. You don't get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was like, I respect this dude. And it can be like sometimes perceived as like you saying like almost like therein lies the toxic masculinity, the bad guy, the bra that's coming at it from like he's been hurt or you know what I mean, that mossige masculinity. I want to show you dominance in a cack way, like.
Yeah.
And again, for me, it's also you doing your homework. Because it's always a lekker jacket aan net, so jy kan sien hy die praktiek agter homself, man. Die character, you know what I'm saying? He's lekker uitgesort al, man.
Props to the wardrobe. Because that also helps when you put on your wardrobe, you know, and when, like, especially, like with Emmy was a character where I was like, when I got it, I was like, yo, are you guys sure? Because I was always typecast as like the nice guy, the boyfriend, you know. And I've always wanted to play the bad guy. And when Emmy came around, I was like, I didn't want to play the typical, like, there's a typical way sometimes a cape-colored gangster is kind of played, you know. And I didn't want to be that because there's so many different versions of how you can be a gangster, you know. And Emmy also is not a gangster. He's a loan shark. You know, he doesn't see himself as a gangster. That's why in the scene he says to Randall, you know, gangsters, I told you about them. He just wants his money. And I saw him as this guy who's just like, he doesn't need to say a lot. You know, it's all in the eyes as well. Eyes is another thing for me. The eyes never lie. So if you're going to speak the truth, your eyes will show. If you're lying, or if you're speaking the truth. And that's what I love about film. It catches that intimacy of the eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I take my time. I don't like to be rushed. It might come across as being a bit cocky. I don't know. But and I worked with a director now recently, Imran, on a film where he also did this thing of like, no, take your time. Slow down. Because we do that in the real life. Sometimes we feel like we want to fill the space with, you know, it gets awkward. The silence.
Yeah.
Nice, sit in the silence. Yeah. Own it, you know. But it also stems from who I am as a spiritual being. You know, I've accepted my dark side and I'm getting healing for that. And also to not sit in it for too long. But acknowledge that, okay, that's me. I also come with kak. You know, we all come with some shit, you know, and I've accepted that instead of denying it or hiding. You know what I mean? And I think once you, I don't know, when you've accepted that and then you kind of accept like who you are, then you get more grounded. Yeah. And then, you know what I mean?
I 100% understand what you're saying. And it's like, you say
Because I can't take that props for how because I know it's a lot of work that goes in there.
Yeah.
There's not one answer for that. There's like
So
a
many.
lot of elements. Like I said, the homework, the team, the who I am and what I expect of myself, and yeah, so there's a lot of elements that goes into that.
You said something that Strang code. You said like we got kak in us, like, and after, or you say this, we got stuff in us, or something like that now, or darkness or something like that. But often that comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's often we have to go look at where that comes from to heal that, like, and I think if you go look for where that come from, it's also like do you use that as an actor, like, or you mentioned that darkness. Can you elaborate more on that sort of thing? It's like, is it the darkness, the kak that's in you, or does it come from a place that you can try to heal, or?
I think we all have some extent of darkness in us, We might not be, saying it out loud. We might be thinking it like, ik sal mos die bara. You know what I mean? There's an extent that we can all go to. But I think, like in the beginning, I used to tap into that, and then I saw this is becoming dangerous. Because it takes me longer to come out of character, in a way. You know what I mean? Because I'm tapping into something that I haven't healed, that is not safe. I'm playing around with something, and you open yourself up. Oh, this is how I see it. Because I am seeing myself as just a vessel, I need to also be wary of spiritually what is happening within me. You know what I mean? It kind of sounds like I'm saying I get possessed. But in a way, it's like you do the homework and everything, and then you let it go, and then you play. But you also got to have a sense of like, you are here. With certain characters, it goes there. Other characters are easier. You know what I mean? Like the character Noor in Barakat is a bit more easier. It's lighter. You know what I mean? But when there's characters that have like, where the story is a bit more dark, then you have to tap into certain things, But now that I feel like when I started my healing journey on my shit, it's easier for me to tap into, because now I can come out quicker. You know what I mean? And I can access even a bit more. You know what I mean? I'll sit there and I'll go, okay, what can I do? What is I also have this thing of like worst case scenario, which is very bad. Like my wife will tell me, baby, you need to relax. Because I always think, what is worst case scenario, So I'll take it there and then I'll come back. That's what I'll try and do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll see, and I like watching, I'm one of those who will watch paranormal stuff or crime like 2, 3 in the morning, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think there's a lot of elements that goes into that, but you need to learn or I had to learn to be able to tap in and tap out of that.
So we spoke to Jill Liebenberg. She played Ellen, the role of Ellen Pakis, and she told us about that experience, sort of like of dealing with that, and how she had to also like go live at the seaside, and every day she had to sort of like just unpack that, like sort of, because like again she's mentioning something to you. You don't want to get stuck in that negative or caught up in that. So she had like almost like a process of dealing with that, like letting go of all that darkness and get it overcome. It's quite interesting. It's something that's out there in our communities, right? There's a darkness and stuff like that, and people say like, oh, why you guys always portraying like this? But we have to show that side. Yeah. We have to show that side, and we also have to show the light side as well. Both sides of the coin, the dark and the light in all of our roles. You recently did the role of the Desert Rose in the Desert Rose.
Yeah,
that was like 2 years ago. Was it a diver, right? And they had like split personalities or something like that. Can you tell me more? Can you tell me more about the diving?
Even Desert Rose, when I got it, thank God for Cindy Lee. She was the director. And she's like, Danny, I know you can do this. And I sent a tape and she's like, we need to do a bit more of this and a bit more of that. And then when it got to like everything the whole package, the character bio that I got, I saw that he was a deep sea diver. And I learned that with, this is now the research, that a similar thing happens with deep sea divers to the extent that he went, than with people that go in outer space. The outer space, when they look at Earth, because now you're on Earth, but when they look back, it's this small. And when they come back, they're not the same. Because it's like, this feels so big when you're here, but now you're there, it looks so small. So a lot of them come back, maybe they're not the same.
Is it like a disassociation or something?
Yeah, it's like a disassociation.
With what's going on, something.
You know what I mean? Which was an interesting fact, it's like when I started reading up about deep sea divers, because they also lose, they don't have enough sufficient oxygen sometimes.
To the brain.
So what that starts doing also, it can cause like a bit of split personality because they're so far down. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that starts messing up with them as well. Because I couldn't place this character completely, until I did the research and I was like, okay, opening myself up again. Let's go deep. And then I was like, okay, this guy's a loner. He doesn't need anyone. They just call him for a job. And I don't know if you watch it, but there was a scene how he prepares. He fills up the bath with water and he holds his breath for as long as he can. It is such an awesome scene because
I never watched it. I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm
there.
Desert Rose.
I get out and it's the first time I had a cock sock on. I come out of the bathroom and I walk and they like behind me and I pick up this 15-20 kg helmet, deep sea, old helmet that he has. It's like, it's heavy, my bro. And I put it on top of my head. And this is for me from behind. And I just stand there and I breathe, And in that moment as well, I was like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? So you find things on set as well. Because now I stood there naked, hearing myself breathe in this thing going, and I'm about to go kill. You know what I mean? So, yeah, acting is it's like,
dude,
you open up things like pathways in your brain, I think, where you didn't.
Dark pathways.
That you haven't sometimes before, and you talk about your character as if it's you, and I think I will do this. No, I think I will do this because I went through this. Meanwhile, you, as Danny, I've never went through it. But you have to get into that headspace of like, you know what I mean? Of like, I went through, and then you start opening up pathways and then it becomes longer and bigger and then things start to link and then, yeah. So, yeah, Yichu was a character that was hectic for me in that sense but I loved him. Man.
Is he still with you, Obichi?
Sometimes. Sometimes 2:00 in the morning, I'll just next to my wife. That was him. I'm joking.
It's quite interesting that you said like you have to almost like you speaking like that you that person, man. And I understand that you have to become that person in order to portray that person authentically, to act as that person. It's like, now I am that person. It's quite for us normal people, it's quite a weird thing.
I think we're all actors, man, to a certain extent. We that's doing it as acting as a job, we just go a bit further. But we are all actors. We all have to play a role.
Yeah.
At work, at home, you know,
I
with
agree.
the family, with the friends, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
We play a little bit of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's only few people. It's very, also in the society we live in, to be authentically who you are, you know, and that is, I think, one of the things that I strive for is to always be authentically myself, because it's difficult sometimes, you know.
It is. It is. We always portraying something or not, and you hit me quite hard with that one there, as you like, because I didn't expect it. Like, I didn't expect that coming from you. You know what I mean? I got a list of questions here, and I'm going through it, but you hitting me with like, we all actors. It's like, yeah, we are all actors. Like, we all acting and playing a role. We are different in front of our. If I go to work, I go to day job, I portray that type of guy.
Yeah.
You know, on this podcast, I'm
They call
another
it
type.
professional.
Yeah. What is that? What they call the
Yeah, like you have to go to your job, so now you have to be professional.
professional?
You
Is
know
that
what I mean?
the acting role, like
Yeah.
professional?
Yeah.
Interesting. But at home, then I'm dad. Like,
Yeah.
when I'm around my friends, I'm Joe. Whatever.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Because we all like go through something, and we all have like our traumas and things, but we don't wear that on our sleeves. We don't always talk about it. You know what I mean? And that's sometimes what we're hiding. And that's why, especially in our communities, we joke about a lot of things.
It's a good way to
To distract.
heal, isn't it, my vessel?
Joking.
Yeah.
I think I hear what you're saying, but when it shows up again and it becomes real and it's not a joke anymore, then you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a way of us, especially men. Nah, me bro, I could drink a pee, wat het me kusat, rook a joint kusat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of talking about the thing. And so every time that thing is, you either talk about it under the influence, which is not really truthful.
That's not talking about it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You must have
'Cause-
something in your heart to get you there. Like.
You know what I mean? And then that, then you kind of don't, like healing is not there's no end to it, you know, but it's, that distraction just takes you longer to heal, and then it shows up as you get older. You know what I mean? And you wonder, why am I like this? Why am I doing it? It's because you're avoiding something. Well, that was my journey. You know what I mean?
I think it's a lot of our journeys now, and especially like
Especially with men.
masculinity.
Yeah.
That's why I go back to that thing. Like, it's like, and it's like, again, we put on a fake face of, I'm a man like this, or I must be like this to be a man, or I must be like this to be a man. That's why my question to you was like, you seem to be portraying masculine energy in a, well, obviously there's a negativeness to it, but I almost like, this is how masculine energy must come across. It must come across as assertive and not aggressive, and especially within our communities, like masculine energy is aggressive. That is, or at least maybe that's how we were taught, how our generation was brought up.
Yeah.
So now when we have kids, now we think maybe that's, well, we've learned that that's not the way forward. That's not the way forward. But I don't hit my kids, but sometimes I shout at them, like, and that's almost as bad as hitting them. You know what I mean? It's like, and I see myself, I see my dad in myself, see myself. Well, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I say, I'm acting like my dad. Yeah, I mean, and maybe. Obviously, he tried his best to give me his best and stuff like that. But there's certain things that maybe he could have done differently. Yeah, and now I am also like doing things with my kids, and maybe I can do it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Each generation, we're trying to learn and do better, but it's through talking like this, like you and I talking, that we try to figure it out.
Can I just tell you something?
A word.
I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again.
Yes, it's good we do.
sometimes you shouldn't be so hard on yourself, because in my journey with my son, right?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I just wanted to be the father, and I probably made the same mistakes like you I did with like my father did with me.
Yeah.
But as they grow older and their personalities become more defined and they're figuring themselves out, it's easier to become their friend now and to talk to them, because with my son being older, I can have a better conversation with him and make him understand really. Okay, ek skel wat hy rede. Because in your Barakat, you kan nie die hele tyd vir games speel. You need to, life is about this and that.
Yeah.
So now they're okay. Die jongs skel nie net vir omdat hy stupid is. Now they understand. They understand me better, man. They understand me better.
Yeah.
You know?
But again, now your energy, your masculine energy is different. It's not like your topies was, you're not getting drunk or something. Okay, I'm not saying your father did that. But there was maybe a past of like needing to get intoxicated and then waste the lights or do whatever.
But basically what I want to say is, jy moet nie so swaaws op jouself nie. Because as long as you realize it, there's room to improve it.
Yes.
And that's,
to improve.
You know what I'm saying?
What I did want to just highlight is that energy, man. Is that of that trying to do better of our generation and trying to do better than the previous generation and communicating, talking about it, showing good positive role models.
Yeah, I think it's true what you say, because I was also, sometimes I'm still hard on myself. I used to be very, very hard on myself. And also that thing you say, about how you were raised, and I have my anger issues, and therapy has helped me, Therapy is also a thing that we don't talk about enough, especially again in our communities, because also the way we were raised, there wasn't money to send you for therapy. Hulle het uit jou uitgeslat of sy word gebid voor.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you got trauma to deal with and you need to talk to someone, and that takes you to an understanding that you didn't have before, because now you're talking to someone that can kind of explain to you. Like sometimes I sit with my psychologist and he explains to me something and I'm like, fuck, I didn't think of that. I didn't know that's why I'm reacting like that.
There's so much people.
And he's like, yeah, but this is because this happened. This is because you were a kid. Now you're looking at it like that. And then it's like that epiphany. And then you see, fuck, that's why I'm doing everything like that. That's why I have worst case scenario. I've been in fight or flight mode. What they call it is what you need. Fight or flight mode is what saves you in a situation, or, to react quickly. But you also need to be able to come to the other side to calm yourself. Now, I was operating out of that side because of things that has happened to me, and now I'm always like ready. You know what I mean?
To fight.
Ready, angry, ready to fight, ready to, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's tiring, man.
You almost like triggered.
Yeah, I get triggered very quickly. Different things triggers me. And then I had to go, this is not healthy. This is not healthy. This is not healthy for me, not for my loved ones. I need help. You know what I mean? And that's when I could admit to it. Because, we've all been victims of something. And it's easier to talk about being a victim. But we've also been perpetrators. And when we can acknowledge that, that means you've taken your ego out the way. It's quite difficult.
Yeah.
But it's so much healing and so much peace on the other side, And it's taught me, like you said, now I have to be gentle with myself. Because I used to talk to myself in my head, like if I drop something, it's not dumb in, it's you know what I mean? It's stupid. That was my voice in my head to myself. And then in therapy, I realized, fuck, this person spoke to me like that. And because they spoke to me like that, it became part of me. And now I talk to myself like that, and I'm talking like to other people like that. I'm talking to my fucking wife like that, And I'm like, this is not right. Why am I being like this? You know what I mean? So, and that's when I was like, you have to, when you can acknowledge that you are also the perpetrator, then it takes a lot off your shoulders, because now you will find yourself surrounded by other people that can also go, I've also been there, I've also been there. You are not alone, you are not alone. Here's the steps. This is what you can do to heal. It's a journey. And then you can just love yourself more. Self-love is the thing that I had to start practicing. Like, I mean, I thought I was doing it right. This year I learned, and I might still be doing it wrong, but every morning when I wake up, I do a little prayer to be grateful that I'm awake. And then I hug myself like this, you know, and I talk to myself, because I had to change the voice in my head that was talking to me like, I'd say I'm stupid. You know what I mean? And I have to tell myself, Danny, no man, sy's genoeg. You are enough. I love you. I'm proud of you. Look how far you've come. In the beginning, it felt weird. And then there were times I cried. But I can do it all the time. Now, sometimes you'll find me sitting like this, and that's just me hugging myself and giving me self-love. You know what I mean? Because it's helping me to change the voice in my head so that I don't speak to other people like that. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean I don't. Because I still get triggered. My thing that I struggle with is different to everyone. Yeah. You know, we all have our thing. But that was one of the things I'm still working on. Yeah. You know, is that voice and how I talk to others, and to take a time out. Yeah. My bro, to take a time out was difficult for me. Because I wanna solve shit now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, that's a male thing.
That's a male thing, yeah. Like,
I don't think so. I might disagree with you on that, because you can still, what I found now is that, you know, I can walk away. I can take a moment and walk away. Because I need to, because if I'm triggered, I now need to make a decision. Am I going to engage here? Because I can see where this thing is going to go. Or am I going to walk away and come back to you later? You know what I mean? And I found that when I can walk away and come back later, I've gathered my thoughts. Ek is in fight or flight mode. Yeah. So I'm not going, I'm not, you know, like how you... Yeah, because sometimes you argue and afterwards you have to go apologize for cuck that you said that you didn't mean.
You know what I mean? The reason why I was looking into space now, because this happened to me a week ago.
You know? So now when I go time out, I can go say that cuck in my head, but not to the person, because I know I don't mean it. But then I need to go, this is not true. Now you need to relax, breathe, whatever method you use, and then I do my little prayer, and then I'll come back and then I'll talk to you. Then I'll say to you, Kaigi, because, you know, there's a very different, it has a very different effect when a friend or when someone hurts you and you respond, say, fuck you, man.
Because then it escalates.
You know what I mean? Dan gaan jy moet sê, hey, fuck jou, man. And then it's like, yeah, wat wil jy? You know what I mean? But as ek stil bly en ek sê vir jou, my bro, wat sy nou gedoen het, of wat sy nou gesê het, hy het my seer gemaak, en ek like sê die nie. Het maak my seer. Nee? Ons kan weer oor praat, maar nou is die regte tyd. Dat diffuse sy die hele situation. Yeah. Nou moet sy gaan dink oor wat sy gesê het, en hoe sy het gedoen het. You know what I mean?
Nah. Yeah, I understand. Sometimes I do just walk away from that situation. Yeah. Because in in the situation that I was in, like somebody came to me or something, and I got triggered, but they never knew that I was triggered. So to them it was just all peaches and cream. You know what I mean? So, but I'm triggered here on the side, and I said stuff that I don't mean, and I look like the idiot because to them it was just like a cool conversation, and now I go say stupid stuff. But I was triggered. I had to just walk away. When you say that, just walk away, take a minute, and then come back and say, okay, this is X, Y, and Z. Like, you know what I mean?
Now the trick is to go into why were you triggered?
Oh, it was building on for a while.
Why? Because, you know, we all...
Because I didn't speak about it.
We all get triggered to different things, all right? But now the thing is like, why does this trigger me? Where does this come from?
Yeah.
Who did this to me? Or what happened that I'm like this? You know what I mean? Because a lot of things happens in our childhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That we don't deal with, and then it starts triggering.
But I mean, so like in the workplace, like I can imagine, like it's a series of problems that happens. So if I can imagine you on set or something like that, it would be easier to just walk away if there's a series of problems happening in one person, but just walk away for a while, take a calm breather, and then come back and like, okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously if 3 or 4 things break in one day or goes wrong in one day in the workplace, that 2 individuals can get into like a little bit of a misunderstanding, and they can say things they don't mean. But it's better to take a time out. Anyway, I learn a lot in these podcasts. Success and progressive realization was worthy. Who's that brilliant actor? Okay, we just got some people saying.
Oh, is this like happening
live?
Right now?
This is
This is cool.
This is Ryan Bell. Therapy was taught me how to become a person that I want. This is Ryan that he never ends.
Ryan.
Yeah, so a lot of people talk about going to therapy. I want to mention to you earlier, and like not a lot of other people know that people go to therapy. You know, so it's good to hear this. Like, and I think I need to go to therapy. Huh?
I've been.
I have been, but it's like I've been like when I got hijacked, like hijacked my motorcycle from me, and then at gunpoint, and then I went so once or twice, but then I just like after a while never went anymore. But like I heard Ryan say, the healing never ends. It's sort of to go back and just to the healing never ends. Like,
and
you can't
it's also trying to, you have to find the right person for you. You know what I mean? It's not like you're gonna get, like I had 2 before I found the one that I'm with now. You know what I mean? Because then I knew what I wanted to work on and all of that. But it takes and it takes time. Sometimes it feels like it's not working, but it is actually working. You know what I mean? And it's just lekker to have someone to talk to who's not biased. You know what I mean? And they can put things into perspective for you in a way because I had lots of epiphanies, my bro. Things that I forgot that happened, things I thought that was like, no man, that's not a big deal. And it's like, no, but this is actually why you have this outlook on life like this, you know? And then it just opens up so much about you. You know, so I advocate for it always because it's helped me. And if I could change, you know, then I would want therapy. Unfortunately, is expensive. Our people in our communities are not used to it because it was not affordable. You know what I mean? Whereas in other cultures, people could afford it. Their kids had from a young age, they could start seeing someone and talk.
Yeah.
So they have a better way of communicating. When they become adults, they're a bit more level-headed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry.
100%. No, I know 100% what you're talking about, especially like, so when my son was 2 or 3 years old, we were asked by his teacher, his nursery school teacher, 2 or 3, creche. His creche teacher asked us to take him to check out if he's got like ADHD. You do this test or something like that. There's a series of tests you got. So the first first step in this process is going to a OT. The second step is then going to a medical doctor. The third step is then going to like get prescription or something like that. So there's like a few steps you have to go to before you know your child. And along the way, they will say, if not. But they could, at OT stage, at the occupational therapist stage, they could give him things to help him deal with like his ADHD, almost like characteristics that he was displaying. So if not treated or if not given these tools, he could become more along the lines of this. Or given this right tools, like something like kids get like over anxious, so he becomes
Yeah,
too
yeah.
busy. But
Yeah.
there's a coping mechanism, like just pushing down his weight, like on
okay.
something, like, and slowly all his energy like
Yeah.
will disperse out through this way.
Yeah.
Another way is like in the morning, like you can brush his skin with like a brush, and because it's like so many
sensations,
like it's sort of
Okay.
also like they call it like almost like a fill in a cup. So his cup like gets overflows and stuff like that. So you just need to tip that cup out. Now you can see how learning this at a very young age in your life, if you develop these tools, like you say, like other cultures had like maybe early on in their life, if you can learn these coping mechanisms early in your life and how you can then use it to then excel maybe. So maybe taking it and pushing it into sport, into rugby, soccer, whatever, knowing that that is your time where you empty your glass sort of.
I was gonna say, I heard something because I like to follow like therapists or whatever, you know. And this, I can't remember who said it, but he was like, a lot of boys especially that get diagnosed with ADHD, they found that some of them, they just need to play more. Because they're going through a growth spurt, their testosterone is building, you know, so they just need to be active, you know, and that's what it sometimes is. It's like they do test and then they try and work in, okay, but what if the child plays? Because, you know, the system is also designed. Now you're sitting in a chair, but you want to play. Now it looks like you're not focusing. You just want to play.
Yeah.
You know, because you're a little kid that wants to explore life, but you're now bound to a desk and a board. And I hated school, my bro. Like, I struggled. I still have nightmares not nightmares, but I still have a dream where I'm like, I failed matric because I really don't know how I passed, my bro.
But you were given like tools or people give you tools to excel in that art. You know what I mean? The arts and stuff like that. I think that we need to get more of those tools into our communities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's like an acting class or a good rugby coach or a good soccer coach or something like that. There's a lack of that, seems to be. And I know back in the day there used to be like more programs like that, like Jill Levenberg spoke about. There used to be programs like that, and there used to be teachers that was instrumental in taking her and like, okay, this is...
Because they used to be our therapists as well, you know what I mean? They would try and help you and they would talk to you and, you know, they could spend like... I remember my teachers, they spent time. They could talk to you. You know, it's sometimes the teachers today is just like they're just there to do the thing and then the kid goes, but they're not spending time to talk, to get to know each child, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things at play. A lot.
There is. And we can just like, I think like highlighting the tools that we can use to take us from the negative to a positive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I wish we could have like almost like a massive drama school and like an art school, like just like so much more of these. Like I don't know, I just think the arts is more as a way for us to excel, man. Especially in our communities, we are vibrant, like flipping, got flair in us. We doing the dope stuff, like the best rapper, the best actors. They're all coming from.
True.
Tell me about your song. So, Hey Brown Child, that you write music? Like,
yes,
it's a dope song, bruh.
Oh, wait, thanks, bro. Yeah, so, Hey Brown Child, if you listen to it, is a song to the brown kids. You know, it's a message, a positive message. It's
you want to listen? It's busy playing.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's my producer.
Again, dominating the screen with that look like. You know what I mean? That is that energy that I'm talking about.
We shot this video with no budget, my bro. So I'm very grateful for everyone that's in this video. Karoo King came all the way from, where is the Eastern Cape? Drove through 4 hours, I think, the morning. just to come and be in the video. And I'm just so grateful, man. It was just a message to the brown kids to not underestimate yourself and to keep that fire burning and to, you know, the subconscious message, I wish we had budget, is that what I'm doing is I'm basically serving our people light.
Yeah.
That's what the message is, you know, is that I'm coming in and I'm serving our people around the table, but I'm coming in to bring my fire, my light, you know, because they're also giving me light. And then we're sitting around the table. I wanted this video to be in one shot, but it was difficult. And I wanted everyone, even from behind camera, to come and sit next to us, just to show the inclusivity of all of us. That's, you know, it's my brother-in-law. He's also a musician. Most of them are musicians, yeah. Hey, what's always gonna be? Hey, hey. Hey, brown child.
Well, I've got a question. So, jy's van Woester, right?
Oh, yeah.
Clearly, jy kan rap. Maybe a song with Giga, sien dat hy vir my, hy's my favorite braai, ek sê van
ek love a Giga, my bro. Ek nog eens.
No, but hy's fucking entertaining, man.
He was on the podcast.
We had him here, was it almost 2 years ago, no?
More than 2 years. That's almost 3 years ago, bro.
For real?
For real, my bro. It was like a long time ago.
Nah, we had him on here. He was nogal
that was my first year. That was one of my first podcasts, yeah, bro.
Giga is like, I like his stuff. He's like, he's him. Like, you know, it's like, there was a line that I couldn't get out of my head. He was singing, what is his song? Ek is liederlik, even my demon scrap. I don't want to say.
Ja, hy's 'n groot Eminem fan.
Ja, I was going to say, nou, he's a...
Sinds hy song Blokfluit.
Ja.
Die video's die ek steek op WhatsApp, man. Vir die mense WhatsApp. So wanneer die ouens sê, "Nee man, Nentel, die vroumense. Wat gaan aan met jou? Why you want to see this?" Hy is op 'n skof hy vra my sê, "Wat is dit van jou, man?"
Yeah, he brings like a humor to it, man. And I love that.
Yeah, you got some lekker numbers. Yo, maybe so tell me about one more thing. I want to hear about the big screen that you did with the movie that you did with Ethan Hawke. 24 the name, what's the name of the movie? Sorry.
24 Hours to Live.
24 Hours to Live. I didn't want to get it wrong there. 24 Hours to Live.
Oh, yeah.
How was that? That was like a Hollywood movie, right?
Yes.
Well, Universal Studios.
I think it was it. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. No, it was what a cool experience. Yeah, almost didn't get to do it because I was shooting something else at the time. But then luckily it fell in our break and I could do it.
Did you get to work with him? With Ethan Hawke?
Yeah. So the scene that I have is with him in the film. So yeah, he's a cool guy. For me it was just like, okay, cool. You know, this is, every time I do something, it's like, okay, it's possible. It's possible. And that's why I wrote Brown Child. It's like, for me, it's like to say that, listen, it's possible. Yeah. You know, everything that you're dreaming of, it's possible. You can do it, you know. Don't let people dictate your value of who you are. Don't let people, because sometimes people in the industry, they pat you on the back and they pull you one side, you know. But it's also a strategic way of like, you know, wanting to have you or wanting, sometimes people want to like, almost like control your career and I don't like that. I get very like, as iets van my reg sit and I'm like, I'm out immediately.
Yeah,
I'm out because I trust my gut, I trust my spiritual gift, and sometimes people laugh, but my spiritual gift is I dream, I get dreams. So sometimes I have to stop smoking weed so I can dream. Sometimes when I smoke, I don't dream clearly, but I know, like, you know, I need to go on a break. Because that's where the Almighty talks to me. That's where I get like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. This is symbolic of this. This is, you know. And...
you know the story of Joseph in his Technicolor raincoat?
Tell me.
Joseph in the Bible. So Joseph in the Bible, and he has a technique. Benjamin has 12 sons. I don't know. There's one dude has 12 sons, right? And his last son is with another woman. and his last son's name is Joseph, right? So Joseph's brothers, his 11 older brothers, they're super jealous of him because his father gets the special like Technicolor dream coat made of it. It's actually a player with Joseph. Isn't there the play Joseph? Just
I saw it already.
Okay, so there's a play of this. You must act as Joseph, man. You're gonna do this. So breathe. Joseph and his Technicolor dream coat. I can't believe you know the story. Anyway, so this his father gives this Technicolor dream coat to him, and it's like Joseph's special dream coat. Joseph's like dripping in gold and stuff like that. This other guy tells us, I mean, this one was that the transgender gentleman? Yeah. So the one gentleman told us that Joseph was actually a gay man. Like the first gay man in the Bible. I don't believe that's the story because he had a Technicolor. I don't believe that story. But anyway, this is a Bible story. You can read about it. So anyway, in the Old Testament. So anyway, his brother sells him then into slavery, right? His brothers, there's Joseph and the Technicolor dream coat.
Okay.
So his brothers then sell him into slavery, right? He goes into slavery and he's in Egypt. I think it's in Egypt. I might be butchering the story. Please don't shoot me, anybody. So now he's in Egypt, and there is Joseph's in this prison cell. Somehow he gets to have this Pharaoh has dreams, right? And it's known that Joseph can interpret people's dreams, right? So he's not going to say he interprets his dreams. So the Pharaoh calls him, and the Pharaoh asks him, like, what does these dreams mean, man? So Joseph then says, like, what is going to happen is there's going to be 7 years of plenty food, and then there's going to be 7 years of famine, of like no food. So what you need to do is for 7 years, you need to stack up that food so that you can have enough for the next 7. The Pharaoh does this, everything goes hard, and Joseph becomes Pharaoh's right-hand man. And then Joseph then meets his brothers, and that's the story of Joseph.
Okay, I get
anyway,
it.
Now I know why you got so many kids.
Why?
It's a Joseph thing.
What? No, man. I just always liked the story. And you mentioned the dream. I'm a dreamer, so I thought, this is an interesting story. Like the theme for you got another story question? Okay. I think the theme for this year on our podcast is storytellers. Okay. And I really you I see you've mentioned somewhere that you're a storyteller. That's how you describe yourself. Am I right?
Yeah.
And I like that, man. And we come from storytellers, like people who are storytellers, and it's really been a dope year for getting. We doing that what you're talking about also on Hey Brown Child. Like there's this one, the best skateboarder in South Africa is Jean-Marc Luc. Jean-Marc.
Okay. Colored bra.
Yes, bro. From Jean-Marc Johannes. He's a colored bra. He's a colored bra from Athlone. He's the best skateboarder in the world, bro. He's supposed to go to the Olympics. What? And if he goes to the Olympics, he will win gold. But he's not going to the Olympics.
Why?
Why do you think? Do you think he's the right guy to represent South Africa in the first ever Olympics? There is Jean. Look how he looks.
Okay.
He looks like this is the best skateboarder in the world, man, bro. So he enters international competitions privately, shows his videos and stuff like that, and he comes number 1. So he beats all the other people from all the other countries in the world, but he's unable to go to the Olympics.
But I must say, him being him and a positive person, he didn't really say it's that. He says he doesn't want to say it's that.
He doesn't say it's that.
But I say it's that. Maybe
if you're the best in the world at this, right? Why would they not choose you as the number 1 person to go represent the country? That doesn't make sense.
But you see, this is why we cannot let anyone else dictate our value. He's doing it for himself. You know what I mean? If you're going to wait for them to pick you, if you're going to wait for awards, then you're going to feel it if you don't get it. You know what I mean? But the power lies in you knowing who you are. And that is your journey. You know what I mean? You don't have to. He doesn't have to go to the Olympics to prove himself. You know what I mean? Because people know already who he is. You know, there's more people that could know, but I think the power lies in him knowing who he is. He's happy with where he is, and he doesn't let this thing get him like under.
I hear what you're saying, but I really want this story to be told. Bro.
You know,
it's like,
because
it's
I mean,
burning.
there's
It
so
actually
many.
pisses me off.
There's so many of us that should be getting more recognition. That should be getting all the awards. But these things are also so strategic. It's so strategic. You know what I mean? Not all awards are really like truth.
Yeah, even the Grammy is worth $15. The Grammy itself is worth $15. It isn't. It's not really.
People have to buy producers, have to buy hosts and people gifts and things. They have to, rub shoulders to get your name on the list and making sure that you win. And you know what I mean? It's not all truth.
Even the star on Hollywood Boulevard, you must pay for that star actually to be there.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's not. But I think the solution is we need to celebrate ourselves, man.
Yeah.
And with that said, this is my last vraag for you. You said growing up, you imitated Joe Barber them. And then years later, you on a series with David Isaacs.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience, dude. That must have been where you told the brown child in yourself was like, fuck. Look at this shit. Because I know he's respected in your field. Even Ernest spoke about it. How respected he is,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was like, where did I meet David? No, I think I met Oscar first at, was it Zuidooster, I think. But I met him there and I was like, my bro, I need to take a picture with you, man. I used to stay out of high school to listen to you guys on Good Hope FM, And I have a post somewhere on my social media on Facebook where I spoke about that, like, working with him and like, and then we met at a film festival, and we started talking, and that's how we started to get to know each other. We'd bump into each other at festivals. And those two guys, man, they've done so much for us, and they've really helped me in a way. Like sometimes you go to these festivals and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? And they were my sanity in a way, to make me know, like, my bro, it's all right.
You belong
like
here.
You belong here. Let people do what they want to do, and now I try to do that same thing for younger actors that they did for me, is to make them feel you belong and you don't need anyone's approval. You know what I mean? What you doing is great. Just keep at it and be truthful to that. My thing is always just do what you do it to the best of your ability. Don't fuck people over, man. Just be truthful. Because if you're going to fuck people over, it's going to come back. I believe that. I could be wrong. It might not come back in the same way, but don't fuck people over. You know what I mean?
It's going to get out. It's people know. People, sooner or later, people will find out the real you is. Like, you can't hide for too long. Like, there's a reason why, like, on social media, like in TikToks and stuff like it, other types of content maybe gets more views than ours, right? So the type of content, like type that's like maybe beefs,
disrespectful to females,
beefs or something like that. Like people starting beefs with each other, so that like gets like 100,000 views, and like we like struggling here with 500, 600 views, you know what I mean? We like, if we get like 2,000, we like,
But people like that. It's fucked up, but people like it. People like to see other people getting hurt.
I have to...
But we don't want to show that.
This
is not why we are.
I have to say this though. There's a lot of the positive stuff that went to 300,000.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I agree with you the full length.
Yeah.
We need to see the the economics of it as well.
Yeah.
So that negative podcast, it might get the views, but it's not constant. You can't build a future on that.
Yes.
I feel that and I'm being biased, but I feel that the stuff that we have done and doing this year and last year, there's a future in it.
Yeah.
And there's a residual future in it, in a sense where positivity will come if you give out positivity, man. If you smile at the world, the world smiles back at you. And I feel that even though it might not, like a live podcast might not get 300,000, I feel the energy that I'm putting out is something that I can be proud of. That my son can say, "Nah,
proud of your dad. Yeah, my dad has not been rude to women on social media
trying
and stuff like that.
to cancel females' business." Yes, I'm talking about you. I'm not going to mention his name.
But as long as you keep doing it truthfully, man, eventually you'll reap the benefits. It's about, the timing of that. And also, like my songs, I think people see me as an actor, but my songs don't have a lot of views, but I know that I'm happy with it. I don't make it for people. And it was a big thing because, like, writing my own lyrics, I'm not hiding behind the character. It's my thoughts and my ideas. So it's like I'm now being vulnerable with what I'm saying. It's not me saying a character's lines and acting. This is my thoughts. This is my experience. And also, even with this, the negative ones might get more views, but the impact of it on the person, it's not going to be positive. Whereas the positive one gets less views, but all those people who watched had a positive.
I like
what
the way you pointing it out.
You know what I mean?
What impact are you having on the next individual there?
You know what I mean? And for me, it's also like, even with my songs, I had to approach it like that. Even if it reaches you in a year, in 2 years, in 10 years' time, it's okay. It wasn't meant for you at that time. You know what I mean? It wasn't meant to reach you. You weren't ready to hear it. You know what I mean? Because maybe you heard it, but you didn't get the full subtext of what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we listen to songs like that. We just go, oh, the beat and the rap or and then we find out what the lyrics is. And then we actually delve into the lyrics. And then you go, fuck, okay, so this is what you're talking about. Now we're getting to understand. But a couple of years ago, you might not have been in that space of wanting to understand. You just heard it and like, okay, cool. But now years later, because it happens with me as well, where I listen to a song and I'm like, did they say this? Because now I'm at that place in my life where I'm open to it and I've, and now it finds me again. You know what I mean? So as long, like they say, as long as you just impact one person in a positive way, that's good enough, because you don't know how many people that person can affect.
I like it where you put it into context with music for me now. How you explained it, like your music, you writing it yourself, and sometimes when you do things like that, put pins on paper, it is a bit more challenging. Yeah. It is you personally that's putting it on paper, and there is people listening to it, and you can check the views, and now something else, like rapping, like being rude and disgusting or bragging about his car. But you try to share a positive message, and it's really well written. It's a banging tune, but you're not getting the view.
But that's why you see, like this guy, the skater guy, you gotta know who you are, and you gotta, you can't. Social media has messed us up a lot. It can be a good thing and a bad thing, but that it's like they say, the people who design apps are the same people who design the machines in casinos. So it gives you that dopamine hit the whole time. So I'm very aware of that, and I'm very aware of when I'm not on there, how my body reacts to it, and how my mind goes. It's like that pop-up, that color, that red color notification. You know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean? So when you're sliding down, there it pops up, And when I don't do that, I realize how calm my nervous system is. As to when I'm sitting and I'm going, oh, what is that? Oh, okay. You know what I mean? And when I'm done there, not even 2 minutes, then I'm there again. You know what I mean? And people also think that support, the likes means support. That doesn't necessarily mean because you like my thing and you share it that you support me. People are sometimes strategic with it, and it's like, no, I'm just doing it to be part of this thing. You know what I mean? But they're not actually going out to support you. And people confuse this social media support as a real thing. It's not a real thing. Those people you can't, sometimes some of those people you can't call on a normal day. My bro, ek gaat gou die. You know, you don't even have those people's numbers on your phone. You know what I mean? So I'm very aware of what social media has done to me. That's my experience with it. And now I'm trying to be strategic in my way about it and intentional on what how I put things out and who, you know what I mean? Otherwise, it's just, without you even knowing, you're in this pit. You know, of checking your likes, of checking who commented, checking, you know, we all do that. You know, and you catch yourself going, who liked, who commented, and I'm like, nah. You can't be, that can't be life. To go see who liked and who commented. You know what I mean? It's like...
But you get more comments and likes than the average person.
No.
Because
No, I don't, I try not to, no. So
because
now and then...
don't engage in it. And
now and then I'll scroll, I'll see something that happened and it's 3 days ago. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, fuck, I'm late to the news. You know,
that's a good thing, maybe.
And for me, it's worked for me, personally. I don't want to be so updated. I haven't listened to news in the past 4 or 5 years. I try not to listen to news because that is also an agenda to lower your vibration because majority of the news is negative. I cannot drive on my way to a casting, to a thing, I'm in a good mood. And today, a 6-month-old baby was raped and left in a ditch.
Yeah.
And the weather for today is, and I'm like, wait, what? What the fuck? Are we just going to move on?
Yeah.
I understand that's the industry, but it sits in me. Yeah. And I can't just brush it off. And I'm not being naive or I try to, if I'm going to look for news, I'm going to look for good news. Yeah. And there's platforms that put out good news. Yeah. You know, because it's so lekker when you watch the news, it's kak, and there's some good news. And then for a moment, you just feel, there's something good. And then it's away again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it keeps you in that state of panic, that state of like, nothing's going right in the world. This is going, you know, but there's so much positive news out there that's just not making it to the news because that's not their agenda. It's not to give you good news. Yeah,
100%. The aim is not to give you the positive because that's not maybe what's going to get the clicks, you know?
Yeah.
It's the other thing that gets the clicks.
And I guess for you, in your business, it's not like the other writer is going to go on social media and you'll check for actors. You're doing the actors' work in the field of what you're doing. Like in my case, I told myself, I want to get the clips on I want to get the page on a certain followers. And I've done that. So now I'm like, okay, so, because I can remember time when it was just me and you. We had 200 people, constantly.
27 views.
27, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I constantly go back to the time when it was just me and you. We had the greatest time, and the reality. We're still having fun.
Yeah, we're having better fun now.
But yes, because now I can actually watch a series and say, oh, die braai ek nogal lekker, and then boom, stukkie braai uit. Think about how dope that is, man. Because I tell my wife, like, I do dope shit.
We have to pause and reflect. I always say pause and reflect because we get in this thing of just chasing, and then we forget where it's easy, you know, because we fall in that trap of the social media, of getting more, always getting more. But if you just pause and reflect and think where, that's why we life will teach us the same lesson over and over again until we pause and go, no, but I've been here before, so it's going to work out. You know what I mean? Every time it's that. And it's to teach you a lesson that's meant for you. Whatever lesson it is, you need to learn about being patient, you can ask for patience. You'll get patience in one thing. I'm not getting pissed off about that anymore, but there's another thing, because it's teaching you patience in different areas of your life, but we have to pause and reflect and go, am I still good? Am I still healthy? I still got a roof over my head. I got food. I got people that support me. Am I truthfully happy when I wake up in the morning with what I'm doing? Because I tell you, my bro, I had 2 breakdowns when I was in Joburg of chasing work. That was 2015, 16 maybe.
Sure.
Chasing work, chasing money, chasing the game, feeling like I need to impress, feeling like I need to be here, there, you know what I mean? And then you find yourself on the side of the road coming from a party and you're like crying and like freaking the fuck out, going, what the fuck is going on? You're chasing, my man. What's happening to your spirit? What's happening? Can you really sit still and be okay with who you are right now? No, I can't. And I came back home. I had to come back home. I had to be with my family, because you'll fucking chase this thing, man. And before you know it, you don't even know who you are.
Sometimes it's like
let me tell you something, sorry, on that note.
No,
there's a lot of people that you'll see on social media. They've got the best content. They look the most happiest. They're depressed. They're on antidepressants.
I know about that, yeah.
People are going through stuff. And I've struggled really to like, I tried the social media thing. I struggle, like I'll go on and then I'll go on for 5 days. I'll come back up.
I can't get on the TikTok.
I'm also not on TikTok.
I don't know what to type.
Someone asked me about
I'm taking a selfie. The people say you're not allowed to take selfies anymore. I'm wearing skinny jeans. They say you can't wear skinny jeans. You must wear baggy jeans. It's like, whoa, I thought skinny jeans is in, me, bro.
We just wanted to do a shaka two video.
My kids, I can post but that is my life.
That was
chilling with my kids.
That was funny, dude.
Chilling with my kids, and I'm busy fixing something, and then they tune me something or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I'm busy cutting down trees in my yard.
Yeah.
Or then
as long as you're happy with what you're doing, if that makes you happy and you're truthful to it, then do it.
What I want to say is like, there's power in a lekker crying.
Yo, my bro.
Like, we don't talk about that, man, bro. It's like, something is just a crime.
For me,
and after you just feel lekker, man.
Oh,
it's almost like so I do a little bit of MMA as well. And it's, but like, I do, you don't do that, you hug. You hug after you move a guy, you hug, you're like, you don't cry, you're like, that's so good, bro. So I do a bit of jiu-jitsu. And I think like a good like role is like if I fight like a big brain, I end up in a good position. That now is equivalent to a good cry, just releasing all that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's one of the most beautiful things for me when men can cry, because it takes a lot. Because of the way we were raised, you just suck it up and carry on. I'm a crier. My grandfather was a crier, so I cry very quickly, my bro. So. And I know how good it feels, so I'm able to, like, I'm a crier, but I've also had my shit. And once I release that shit, I'm crying even more, my bro. But it's such a relief, man. It's such a, because the thing is, I read an article once about, if you look at boys and girls, how they are raised, right? If a girl falls, what do? You pick her up, she cries, oh, my baby, it's okay. If it's a boy, it's like, come on, man, you're a boy. Like, come on, it's all right. So now what the boy does is, and it's a lady that actually wrote an article about it. The article was something like, the reason why men will destroy everything they have in 1 minute or something. That was the title, right? So now you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, clickbaity.
Right, And then she goes with, they were raised. So the more the boys have to suck it up, that's why they release like that sometimes. That's why you'll fuck up everything. You don't give a fuck if you just paid millions for this thing. You'll fuck it up. Because you can't think straight now. Because you weren't allowed to release that. So it sits and it sits and it builds up and it sits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, men, like, I think they all even destroy relationships and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it's like, yeah, it comes from that darkness within of like, yeah. I just thought about the crying, like, it's like, somebody said, like, if a man cries in front of a woman, it's almost like, that's not a mess, that's not a good thing to do. It's like, she'll never see him the same way.
Then she's not for you.
Oh yeah, and it's like it's part as again speaking to masculinity again, like that energy of like a man is not allowed to cry or you must suck it up, or what is the world gonna think if he behaves in like this type of way? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being judged or I don't know. So it's not always easy, like, and we might just like tell the brass out there, like, hey, if you wanna cry, man, bro. It's alright.
Yeah.
Take it. There's a lot going on. Like, I think I also had like breakdowns, like, and if you don't acknowledge that or you don't like release that shit, it sits in you and it becomes actually illness.
Yeah, you can become sick, man, bro.
Becomes cancer and the rest of the stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Man. Oh man.
But yeah, we've gone through so much. Like, what's new in what's popping off next in your world? Like, you got anything?
This year I was blessed enough to shoot 3 films.
3 films.
Yeah, it was actually the first of these companies, which is fucking awesome when people trust you with their first feature, you know, to be in there. So that Frank and Felipe is releasing in February the 23rd on our anniversary.
Okay.
Which is such a blessing as well.
On what platform?
It's going to be cinemas.
Cinemas.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a cinema release. Yeah,
Lekker.
Frank and Felipe. I did a film called Niemandsdorp, but that I think it's just going to festivals. And then what else did I do? That was
4 films, and you got other things.
I did The Way Back, but that was not the first. The Way Back is also going to be a beautiful film. And that was the last. Oh, and Neelan and Kevin that I did with Laverson and Brendan Daniels. So that's going to be. I'm hoping they're trying for a cinema release, but that's probably also going to release next year, yeah. And The Way Back is also The Way Back's also a beautiful film about our people, you know. But it's a story it's actually kind of a personal story for the director of him and his friends having a braai, one of his brasses, boy went missing. They eventually found him, but they had to deal with.
Don't tell me that.
They had to deal with. It was in the papers as well. It was in the Southern Mail or something, and something.
Don't tell me.
But it was about dealing with the friends now having to deal with their history that came up in this moment of panic, you know, and how they reacted towards each other, and having to deal with shit that happened in the past that came up, because we're 3 couples and all of us have kids, you know, and the one guy's child goes missing. And we shot it done. We shot it in Ottery, there in the flats as well.
No, wait. Maybe I saw something prepping for you, but I know the story, man.
It was in a couple of I think in 2 newspapers. Not a couple, but there was
Got a deja vu type of vibe now.
Oh yeah.
Check it out. One last question.
It's okay. It's okay.
Brandon Daniels.
Yeah, that's the same question. When you mentioned it.
That, bruh.
We fanboys, like.
Me too.
We fucking fanboys. Explain to me, from an actor's point of view, what he means to you, and how he plays his roles, and it's just that, bruh, is just different, man.
Brendan is, that's my brother, man. And I think a lot of us feel that way. He's like our big brother in this industry. You know, like now when they did this film and he called me because they had some like issues with the casting. And he was like, "My bro, are you available? Can you come up?" And I was like, "My bro, for you, I'll do this," you know. And we always have a liquor time together. He's just like, he's real, man, you know. And you just enjoy. He's got this contagious laugh. You're always laughing. You're always making gat of everything and anything, you know. He's been consistent, you know, in who he is as a friend. I can call him up, you know, he calls me up to just check on each other. And I do that a lot with my friends. Like, I don't do, like I said, the social media. So you won't be able to tell who's my people on social media because I don't really, interact there so much. I'd rather send you a quick WhatsApp. Wie my bro, wat sê jy? Ek dink aan jou, ek hoop dis alright. Laat weet my hoe het gaan en away, you know, it takes you 5 to 10 seconds. And we always thinking, you know, that thing when it's like someone calls you like, my bro, ek dink nou net aan jou. Of, you know, ek het nou die dag aan jou gedink. So what I do is, I intentionally, when I think of you, I send you a WhatsApp. I send you a message. Because it's going to take me 5 to 10 seconds. You know, just to check in. How you doing? It's all right, my bro, you know. And if I feel like I need to call you, I'll call you. Sometimes I call my friends like, my broer, my stem hoor. Ek het nog nie jou stem gehoor en ek praat net nou kak met my en sê dis alright. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear your voice, you know. So I try met myself altyd sê, "Nee, sê my broer een ding. Sy bly incheck. Ek like sy van jou." Because we need to do that. You know, it can't just be over Facebook and Instagram and so, you know what I mean? We need to call each other. We need to just check for real, you know, have a coffee, have a drink, have a walk, you know, just go check, feel the person's energy, like it's a rare alright, my bro, are you really, okay, nice, salute, now we can go again, till I think of you again, you know what I mean? And that's one thing I've been consistent with is doing that. Because I've had so many times where I do that, someone comes back to me, my bro, ek voel so kak nou. I don't know who to talk to. And I'm like, okay, I'm here, you know. Or I'm going through a kak time, or you won't know what this means to me. You know what I mean? And that for me is special. So I'd rather do that.
You sound like you got a lot of real friends in the industry, and like, and it's like I've mentioned this to Nantel before. It's like actors in America seem different to the actors like in South Africa or Cape Town or South Africa. It's because I think they're not doing it for the money here. These guys are not doing it for the money. There, it's for fame and the money and whatever. I feel here, or at least the crop of actors that I know here, are doing it for the love of the craft. And it's like, now these guys have got like, not only the best, the brilliant craft, but now you're getting the best tools from internationally. Ernie B was talking to us about Panavision, that you're only allowed to rent it. You can't buy it and stuff like that. The lens. And just like stuff like that now you guys are shooting with better quality equipment and what value that adds to the production. So it's tools and the art, you know what I mean? So that coming together, it's like, yeah, I just feel it's different. We spoke to Christo Davids. Phenomenal guy. Each person I mention are phenomenal people. I don't know, I'm just lucky enough to meet the good, like Christo, Jill, who else? Ernie. Who else? What other actors? We spoke to the people that created Dollars and White Pipes. That was Donovan Marsh and Bernie Baiges. That was a mad experience just to see like Bernie Baiges sitting in here. We watched that. Remember? Did you watch Dollars and White Pipes?
I watched Dollars and White Pipes. Yeah.
So I watched that when I was a kid. Like it came out like 20 years later. Now to sit opposite like the dudes is like, what's going on, bro?
That's a solid brand. He's in contact with Ryan. When he got back home, he said, "Okay, guys, I know this brand. We can help each other out with some business side, on the business side." So it's not just appearing here; it's the networking and the friendship, and you know what I'm saying. That dude, like of view, and I'm grateful for everything that we have in that regard. But that solid relationships, it's forever, man.
But just meeting the people and like the knowledge of what each person of their past having to deal with, like things in the present, like, and people knowing about us. Okay, so now this brah, they've seen you on TV before. Oh, but this brah must also deal with some stuff like everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They must also overcome obstacles to get them to wherever. And we all have different obstacles. Like, if you keep your eyes on the prize, though, one day you'll reach that goal. Like,
what's that goal?
Whatever it is, whatever your goal is, man. I mean, like, my goal or our goal here was, I don't know, just to speak to dope people. And this year we've got that. Like before we were speaking to dope people, right? Like always, but now it's just like we're speaking to
more dope people.
Yeah,
just coming in and
the storytellers. They all like a theme for this year must be probably storytellers, because everybody see themselves and it's exciting. Yeah, you hug yourself because I get excited to the fact that our stories are being told.
Yeah.
And the cogs, it feels to me, like we spoke to dope people, don't get me wrong, but it feels to me now that we're working better together also, man. And I feel that I've grown also, and it feels like I'm becoming a better leader when I need to lead. And I'm becoming, because for me personally, the DJing was just me alone. So I speel for the crowd, you read the crowd, whatever. Now I need to fucking figure out, okay, this is your personality. Okay, I hate that part of that bra, of that girl, whatever, in the team. So now I need to work around it. Okay, work on my own shit, or really most of the time, work on my own shit,
like we said.
You know what I'm saying? So that's lekker weer van my weer van die journey. Yeah. This nice.
It's all part of working like a team, like you said earlier.
Yeah, and you also, like you said earlier, you have to be gentle with yourself. This is what I've learned, you know, and you have to have grace for everyone, because people are on their own journeys. You know, sometimes we want people to heal quicker or be like how we want them to be, or see things the way we want them, and you can't. It's like with the system that we put in, like with school, with religion, and you can't force people to look at things the way you look at it. We are all individuals, we are all unique, and if we can embrace and accept that about each other and just have grace with each other, then we'll learn so much more. Because now everyone is not under one umbrella. You know what I mean? We can now see different things, because now, yes, we can have the same vision of what we're working towards, but in our ways of working, you know, we are individuals, and we all are unique in what we're doing, you know, and we all have that gift. We are all chosen. It's not a few chosen. It's just those who decide, that has, like, I don't want to say woken up to, but those who have realized, like, this is a part of their gift, or this is part of their purpose, and you tap into that, and then you go with it. And if it changes along the way, it changes. If one day tomorrow I'm not an actor anymore and I'm going to work on a construction site, then that's what I'm going to do, because it's going to make me happy, because maybe that's my journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We attach so much value also to this image that we have of ourselves and what we think the world has of us, that also keeps you away from your authenticity. You know?
It's also finding that right gift. A lot of people don't find their thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because we're distracted sometimes, you know. We want to do what other people are doing.
Yeah.
You know,
instead of focusing on what you...
And you just never get to where you need, and this thing is draining you and whatever, you know. Because you're trying to do what someone else is doing.
Yeah. Be authentic to yourself.
Do your thing. Figure. If you listen to all the guys who've had like these great ideas, you only see the idea now and how successful it is. But go listen to their stories. Why do we hear their stories and we have and then we forget? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They tell you, like it took me 3 years to design this, another 5 years, and then only in 20 years' time, they said, oh, earphones could work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's, you know, and now you're reaping the benefit. As long as you feel like, okay, this is the idea, and it keeps burning, and it's like something in you says, you got to keep doing this, you know? But there's sometimes where you keep doing something, but it's not for you, and you'll feel like there's no voice that tells you keep doing it. The voice will ask you, like, what are you doing? This is not what you're supposed to be doing. There's a fire burning for something else. You're tapping into a gift or a thing that's not yours.
Yo, but I'm speaking too much into my soul. You must remember, I got the day job and I love doing the podcasting. But anyway.
No, but that's why I'm also grateful for I'm grateful for podcasts, what that's happened with podcasts, because I can speak freely. There's an opportunity to speak now. And it's not like sometimes with interviews and all of that, it's so controlled and they steer you in a certain direction of what they want. You know what I mean? And it's lekker to be able to just talk, man.
Yeah.
And because I also love watching interviews of other people, of artists or whoever, because and on certain platforms. You can't, if it's a popular talk show, the person's not going to talk the same as to when it's a podcast. That's maybe got the same viewership or whatever, but it's a podcast where they are more real. You know what I mean? On the talk show now, you got to sit up straight and you got to, watch what you say and you got to
act professional.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, you can drop some truths, but yeah, I'm grateful for podcasts.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing.
It is a cool thing. Like we in our infancy, we're only getting started, brother. And you're only getting started. I feel that like your career's just sort of, people's just starting to wake up to your real talent. Do you feel that way as well? Because I mean, you scored you landed 3 movies this year. That's
sometimes I used to feel like that, and it used to make me frustrated. But when I look back at like what I've done, I've played basically most of the characters that I've wanted to. I've played most of the genres that I've wanted to, and I'm gonna take that as what you said. With just waking up to me, because for a long time I felt like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not booking certain things? And but it's timing. It comes back to when it's because I know what I put in, I know how much work I put in, But also for the past 4 years, acting has been secondary in a way that. When I get to work or when I'm shooting, I learn my lines, I do my homework. But for me, it's about the people that I meet. It's usually the first unit guy, on set. Or before that, you get a table read and whatever. But it's about connecting with this guy who's going to show me where I'm going to park. Having a conversation with him. Having a conversation with the person that's making coffee. Sometimes in our industries, it's just they hang with, these people hang together and these people hang together. And you know what I mean? And I'm grateful for the sets that I've worked on where it's all inclusive, man. And it's, when I started freelancing again after I left St. Worcester, I was like scared. What the fuck am I going to do now? Walking away from a monthly salary. I've got responsibilities, My bro, I got married, I traveled, and I'm sitting here today, and that's why I have to pause and reflect and go, no, it worked out. Most of the time, I'm not working. Most of the year, I'm not working. Not because I choose to, just because it happened so, and I've learned now to take the time that I'm not working to work on my music, or work on something else, or work on myself more, learn some more skills, instead of sitting there waiting for people to call me. Because then it fucks up your mental health.
But I mean, in the past, since 2020, you've been booking way more gigs than before.
Yeah, I've been on a roll.
Because I've been seeing you on the TV. You know what I mean?
And I'm grateful for that, man. I'm grateful for the people who's wanting to work with me. You know, and it's just so special. Like, yeah, just meeting the people on set and just creating a lekker vibe.
You sound like a real team player. Like, he's just talking about the team. But that is I think Nantel was pointed out something like that to me before. Somebody pointed that to me as about acknowledging the team, and it's the team behind that. There's always there's a strong team behind.
It's not everybody has a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Bell has been added to our team, and since that guy is added to this team, game changer. Game changer. Yeah, he just comes with the right energy, man. The one that you've been chatting to, yeah.
Okay, cool.
He just comes with the right energy, man. The right type of, yeah. It's just really lekker. I mean, me and Nantel have been working together for a while, so we had some ups and downs and stuff like that. But now I think we're getting stronger, and yeah, adding Ryan Bell is like just something else.
I think no, definitely Ryan Bell, Roscoe. Everybody was here, no? But when Ryan took his holiday, you could feel now that there's a family member missing. You know what I'm saying? And that's the lekker thing. Is just okay now. We need to work together now again, all right? That's it's lekker to because I mean, like I said, not everybody has a team, man.
Yeah.
And figuring that out for me, my personal thing is my journey. How can I assist you to flourish better? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's also a role. How can I help you become better? That's a good role. It's a role. I mean,
and not being scared to do it. Like you said, working on yourself. When you have the time, like next year, I need to flip and work on the business side of things more. I must physically be involved because I see that we're lacking in that, right? So I can't just say, now I'm going to get somebody to do it. No, dude, you need to figure it out yourself. And now you're growing as a person again. So
maybe you can get someone to do it, but
exactly, but
you understand.
Exactly. And it's like to get your hands dirty and figure things out, because the social thing wasn't my thing. I was like, nah, I was making it, but now we can't just get somebody to do it. I need to understand how TikTok works. I need to understand how Facebook works for us to get that, to inspire people, really.
Yeah, man. Danny Ross, thank you for joining us
Thanks
today, man. Yeah, you're one of my favorite actors, if I didn't say so. First Brendan Daniels, then you. I'm just saying that because we really, really want you on.
I'm sure you will come, bro.
Soon. I can't wait to meet you.
Now we put it in the ethos.
As weird as when I meet you guys, man. You also like, it's like I get a bit starstruck, but it's like, these guys are like, they're doing such dope things, like, but maybe we also doing dope things, you know.
No.
Must also reflect on that and say, we also doing something.
Hug yourself.
No, you guys are putting the right energy out there, and it comes back, you know. You'll see it in your work. You see how it comes back, if you're putting out the right thing or not. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And even if you're not getting the likes and the whatever, the followers, the people that's coming, my bro, we can all walk away with a bit more of knowledge, you know, but of more wisdom tonight from sitting here in each other's company. You know what I mean?
I even told you about Joseph and his technical drink.
And
you must check out the theater play, bro.
Is it on where?
I don't know. It's probably a movie, but the theater.
Okay.
The theater performance is actually the one you want to check out.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you love theater, so I mean, do you?
Yes. I've been meaning to get into theater, but theater,
you did a little bit of it.
Yeah, I started off in theater.
Okay.
But Cape Town, it's been a bit tricky for me.
You must chat to Crystal. Crystal's a theater director. Maybe you guys can collab.
Yeah.
Never know.
Crystal.
There we go. We just connecting the dots. Anyway, man, like I said, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Maybe in a couple of years or a year's time or something like this, we can chat again when you get in your Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
When you get your Oscar.
It's not worth much. It's just $15.
When he brings his, I want to see
I'm
the
gonna
Sama
buy
or the
one.
Oscar on the table.
Nah, I'm gonna buy one.
Oh, Sama. What's that? Is it Sama?
The music.
Sama's a music. Sama.
Yeah,
And what's the equivalent?
Sefter. Yeah. Nah. I don't. Doesn't bother me, eh? Doesn't. I don't want awards. I used to want to. It's nice to get acknowledged for something, but I learned to acknowledge myself for myself, and I take it from the people. You know, for me, it's like the other day, we're looking for a bed, and this Barakat came up to me in what is it, dialer bed or something, and he came to me and he's like, "My bro, you played in number 37?" And I said, "Yeah." "You Emmy most?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "Nah, you know what I grand about you, my bro? That laugh, man." You know, the laugh I gave for the character. So that for me is like, people are picking up those things because I made a decision to do that laugh. You know what I mean? And if the audience can pick it up, I don't care who's sitting on the platforms and not acknowledging that. You know what I mean? And it's not the first time I've heard someone say that about that character and all my other characters. You know, there's always something they come and say, "Oh, you did this, man," and that was you know. So for me, that's my award, because the people are connected with the people. If it doesn't connect with the judges panel,
You like the jackets and the clear, man.
You know what I mean?
As an actor, you stood out for me. So, like, one time, your acting skills or what you did, you maybe tuned some Mr. Bean there, but you got me. So well done for that, bro. Another person that was in number 37 with you, Monique. Would love to have her on. So I think we're trying to schedule to get her on. But she's won some awards recently, Sefters. And I mean, so, it's so dope, man, to see again people from where we were.
If we were honest, all of us should be winning Sefters. 100%. So why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All going to win Sefters.
You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, okay. It is what it is. But the people that come back, the people who want to work with me again, that's the reward. That's the award. You know, when I can be on set and be like, okay, cool, I'm working with you guys again. No, I'm
booking more gigs.
You know, this situation reminds me of when Reddy D spoke about Will Smith, how he greeted everybody. So he doing exactly the same thing, was it? When you go to the guy that's making the coffee and whatever, it's the same vibe.
Yeah.
So for me, that is success, dude. We think about it.
Yeah.
Whether you're now on that platform or this platform, it still shows me the same ideas of. I mean, you obviously didn't know that he does that, but for me, that is success. I try to live in the now, man. Look how our stories being told on much love to Netflix and to especially Showmax. That's flipping. That's
Showmax one time for telling our stories.
And for the amount of movies that you've been in, that's a reward on itself. For me personally, dude.
Yeah, man. Anyway, thank you, Danny Ross. Thank
Thanks,
you, everybody,
guys.
for watching. It's been awesome. I don't know how we've gone probably for 2 hours already. Please like, share, and subscribe. Peace. We out.
Salud.